What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day and welcome to the Tundra Dude 34 YouTube channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you know every time we put up a new video or live stream. We would love to have you involved. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today is a very special day. Today is the birthday of this truck, 2020 TRD Pro Tundra. I bought 1 year ago. So today we're going to go over some of the pros, the cons, the things about the truck that you should know if you're in the market for, and some things at the end I'll talk about that I would like to change about this truck. And not necessarily for next gen, but if I own this truck, well, obviously I own this truck. If I was engineering this truck or doing something with this truck or adding features to it, there's a few things here and there I would do differently. Obviously, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below, so make sure you head down there. Before we start talking about pros and cons, let's just go over some of the stats, the price, where I bought it, and why I traded in my 2017 supercharged Toyota Tundra, which if you've been around a while, you know all about that truck. If you're new and you want to see some of the videos on that, I have a playlist called Platinum Pro Tundra. It was a Platinum that we built into a TRD Pro. Go check it out. It's a good time. So first off, purchase price. This truck was just under $56,000, purchased from Fred Beans Toyota in Flemington, New Jersey. I bought this truck for MSRP. They were very easy to deal with, very awesome. Price wise, that's really where the TRD Pros are. There are some places that charge over MSRP. There's a dealer markup in a lot of places all over the country, but rest assured you can find it for MSRP. It's very hard to get a deal on these trucks because there is no incentives attached to the TRD Pro trim level in any of the models. TRD Pro comes in 4Runner, Tundra, Sequoia, and Tacoma. You cannot get incentives on that. As you'll see in the incentives every month in the bottom, in the disclaimer, excludes TRD Pro. So MSRP is what we got this truck for. It is the special color for 2020, which you will see very shortly, Army Green, which is amazing. So the reason I traded a supercharged Tundra for this truck, now, as you know, I've been doing this channel for about 5 years, okay? And that is really the main and only reason I did it. I had a 2017 Tundra. In 2018, they came out with Toyota Safety Sense, okay? In 2020, they started to add things like the new Entune 3.0 with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and all that stuff on it. They added push-button start. They added a Toyota app to where you can control your truck. They added a new gauge cluster in 2018. There was a lot of stuff that was added to this truck from 2018 to 2020 that I felt like for the channel and for you guys, I should upgrade into something that has the current technology on it for the Tundra. Also, as much fun, and it was very fun to have a supercharged Tundra, in the way of a Tundra channel, I wanted to relate more to you, and I feel like it was better to have a 5.7 liter V8 naturally aspirated to do that, because most of you out there aren't going to spend $9,000 on a supercharger, so it was a lot of fun having it, but I feel like this was the way to go. And that was truly the point of purchasing this truck. If I was a person that just owned a Tundra and didn't have a channel, I would still have that 2017 Platinum, and I'd be keeping that for a long time. For those of you that wonder, I still talk to the owner all the time. He's having a great time with the Platinum. It's still in great shape, no problems. I will keep you updated on anything that happens with that truck. It did hit a deer a few months ago. I made a video on that, but other than that, everything is tip-top. So now, I figured we would go for some pros and cons of the truck, so stick with me. And like I said, throughout the video, if you have any comments, concerns, if you're an owner, whatever you got, comment below the video and let's start a good conversation. So let's start with the pros of this Pro. Okay, the number one pro of this truck is very obvious. It's the color and the look. Nothing like the special color from the TRD Pro. Every single year, they always have this one color that comes on the truck, and it always has this same kind of flat, shiny look to it. It looks different in light. It looks different in shade. It is awesome. You get the Toyota Heritage grille up front. You get the rigid industry fog lights, the LEDs with the black surround. I mean, the badging's blacked out. The wheels are blacked out. It really all flows together very nicely. There's no chrome on the outside of this body. If you're not into chrome, everything is body color, as you see. You get the BBS wheels. You get the Pro suspension. I mean, we've walked around this truck a bunch of times. TRD Dual Exhaust. There's a skid plate up front. But overall, everything about the look, I have no regrets. It looks fantastic. I'm sure you guys will agree. I would say 90% of you like the Army Green. There are a few of you that don't really care for this color, but overall, I can't get enough of the way it looks, especially when the sun is shining directly on it like right now. It just gives it a little bit of a pop. There's no real metallic look to it. But with the black badging and everything, it all just comes together really nicely. And then you get the little bit of red accents, like the TRD in the middle of the wheels. And if you could see under there with the suspension is red. Even the taillights, it all flows together really nicely. So number one pro for sure is the look of this truck. While we're on the outside of the truck, I have to give a shout out to the spray-on bed liner. I've always had drop-in bed liners. People always said you should get a spray-on. I'm glad I waited because this is the one from the factory that has the big Tundra. Fantastic, does the job, nothing slides around, worth the money. If you're in the market, I strongly suggest you check out the spray-on bed liner. I have no cons whatsoever about this thing at all. And like I said in the beginning, the Tundra stamp comes on the spray-on bed liners that come from the factory. If you see a Tundra on a lot that just has a regular spray-on bed liner, they installed that after the fact, probably by the dealer. Okay, another pro for me on this truck is the gauge cluster. Now, like I said, I'm coming from a 2017, so this gauge cluster can be found in 2018 and up Tundras. The center information screen gives you everything you need, individual PSI on the tires, you get your digital speedometer there, you know, all the stuff you ever need in this truck. You can control your Toyota safety sense in there. As you can see up here where it has the eye, you could scroll through and see all the other stuff the truck has. Most Toyotas have the same thing with that kind of stuff, but the Tundra never really had all these options. So for 2018 and up, you get this sweet gauge cluster. Nothing wrong with the old one, but I really like the look of this. And I'm a big fan of the, you know, the speedometer and everything not going digital. I like the way this looks, especially for a truck. It has a really good look. I'd like to hear what you guys think in the comments below about this gauge cluster versus the old one and versus some of the other options out there. So let me know. I also want to give a quick shout out to Push Button Start. We were waiting for a lot of years for Push Button to join the Toyota Tundra. It's pretty much available on all Toyota vehicles now, and the Tundra was one of the last ones. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but it's very convenient to just hop in and out of the truck without taking the keys out of your pocket. So I'm a big fan, works flawlessly, no issues whatsoever. I know a lot of you out there just would rather use a key, but give it a chance. It's not that bad. Big fan of this. All right, there are 3 more items we have to talk about on the pro list, so I thought it would be better to take a ride with the truck because it has to do with those types of things. Number 1, TRD Dual Exhaust. Is amazing. It's a great exhaust. It's not obnoxious. It does the job. It does what it has to do. It gives you a great growl when you get onto the gas pedal. But when the truck is just idling, it's a nice low rumble. It's not annoying to neighbors, anything like that. It has a good look to it. It comes now with the chrome tips and the black tips on it, so you can choose. The current TRD Pro comes with the black tips on it. You'll hear it right now. Hold on one sec. We'll get a little speed. Sounds great. See, when you get on it a little bit, it sounds great, but then when you're off the pedal, no big deal, or when you're cruising down the highway, it just sounds fantastic. The price is a little steep. It's $1,100 for the dual exhaust. Once again, Sparks Parts Tundra Dude 34 promo code saves you 5%. I say that all the time because I want to make sure you guys save a little money. I will tell you one thing that was not planned for this part of the video, but I'm going to bring it up. We talk about, I don't know if you could see this down here in the shot, but the chrome that surrounds the cup holders is very bright and it's shining up into my eyes right now. So I'm going to take a hat and I'm going to cover it up like that, and hopefully, okay, there we go. It's not shining up in the eyes anymore, so that is a con. Add that to the con list. The chrome around the cup holder always blinds me when the sunroof is open like it is right now. But overall, TRD Dual Exhaust is fantastic. There are a lot of great options out there. If you don't see yourself wanting to spend the money, can't afford the $1,100 for the TRD Dual Exhaust, BA Muffler has a lot of great systems. I've used them as well. But for what comes on the truck, I gotta say, TRD Dual Exhaust is amazing. I've had it on a bunch of my Tundras, so check it out. Number 2 on the pros list while we're driving here is the suspension of the TRD Pro. It is compliant over everything. A straight, easy, nice road like this where there's not a lot of bumps, cruising down, no big deal. It's awesome. If you get on a road that has a lot of imperfections, needs a pave, anything like that, it rides the bumps really well. It's good at low speeds, it's good at high speeds, it's good on, you know, gravel roads, dirt roads, everything I've taken the suspension on, it's done really well. So in 15 to 17, the Pro suspension was Bilstein, right? That was the company that made the Pro suspension. In 19 and up, it's the Fox suspension. One of the things I thought going from the Bilstein to the Fox was it was going to be pretty much the same thing, but I was pretty wrong because this Fox suspension rides even better than that Bilstein did. But just really not bumpy at all. It is not a cheap, suspension if you're looking to put it on after the fact, but as far as what comes on this truck, amazing. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Just give me better tires, that's it. So, number one, TRD Dual Exhaust. Number two, the suspension is fantastic. Number three, I saved this one till the end. This is the main event of the pros list. And I've talked about this since day one of getting this Tundra, and I've owned 6. The 5.7 liter V8 in this truck feels ultra responsive. One of the things I was terrified of was I was going from a supercharged Toyota Tundra 5.7 liter V8 to a naturally aspirated 5.7 V8. So I thought I would really not enjoy going from that supercharger back to naturally aspirated, but I was completely wrong. Obviously, I've had a lot of naturally aspirated 5.7s in my life, not just the 6 that I've owned, but I've driven a bunch, press vehicles, friends' trucks, stuff like that. And there's just something different about the 5.7 in this 2020. I also felt that way about, I had a press vehicle last year that was a 1794 2020 TRD off-road. Felt ultra responsive as well. A 2021 that I had a press vehicle on this year. It's just the way it is now. I feel like since they took away the transmission cooler, they recalibrated the engine, and we're just getting a way more responsive 5.7 now. Pleasure to drive. It doesn't feel like it's stumbling all over itself. The transmission shifts perfectly with it. And as much as the gas mileage is something we all talk about that we don't really like, I must say, this version of the 5.7, the way it is in this 2020, mated with this 6-speed transmission, I wish they wouldn't get rid of it. The truck flows so nicely down the road, gets back up to speed. If you're in a situation where you're going 50, 55 and you got to slow down a little bit to like 25, 30 and then catch back up, the truck instantly knows how to shift down and get back up to speed flawlessly. A lot has changed. My 2017 before the supercharger, I felt like it was a little sluggish, all right? Especially with the crew cab. But this thing is amazing. By far, the best Tundra I've ever owned when it comes to feeling, driving the truck. Even including the supercharger, I'll be honest with you. The supercharger was fun, but the tune that was on the supercharger was something I wasn't really a big fan of. It did feel like the transmission was confused with the supercharger. So if I was to do that again, I would go get it tuned at like DAP tuning, because they know all the good stuff on how to get the best out of that supercharger. But as far as this goes, this is amazing. Everything, the software, everything about what they got going on with this 5.7 V8 has made this truck a pleasure to drive. From the moment I got in it, it shocked me, and still to this day, over time, over the mileage, it still is ultra responsive. So keep that in mind if you're in the market for the 5.7 liter V8. So those are my pros. Now, in the first year, I did a few small modifications to the truck. I didn't want to put too much money into the truck, because once the next generation gets here, this one unfortunately will be traded back in. I was calling this all alone a gap truck from the 2017 to the next generation Tundra. So I did some small things here and there just for everyday convenience. Number one, the driver's side grab handle. It is one of those things that must be in this truck. Okay, 2014 and up, they got rid of the grab handle. 07 to 13, they had it. SparksParts.com, promo code TundraDude34 saves you 5%. Go under the popular Tundra upgrades and you will see the driver's side grab handle. Quick, easy install, and it was like the first thing I bought for this truck. The second modification I did to this truck was the console safe. That is just something that I feel like in today's day and age you absolutely need to have. It has a combination lock on it. It's very heavy. You're not really going to be able to break into that unless you take a lot of time in doing it, and hopefully by that point someone would notice what is going on. But it holds all of my belongings when I go jogging, golf, all that stuff. So that is something that is very much worth it. Also available at Sparks Parts. Now, if I'm listing the cons, this is going to be one that I'm kind of in the middle on, but if you're forcing me to make a decision, it has to go to the con side. And that is the new Entune system, Entune 3.0 for the Tundra. Apple CarPlay is cool. You know, I have an Apple phone, so that's what I would use. But overall, the system, I still feel needs a massive update. It gets the job done. You know, it's a pretty basic system. I pretty much just hang out on these screens here. You hit source, you go to your Bluetooth, whatever you do, and the Apple CarPlay screen. But overall, it just seems like it could still use an update. The Jbl Sound System leaves a little bit to be desired. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to lean to con on this one. Again, I would really like to hear what you guys think about this new Entune system in the Tundra. Is it better than the old one? Abso-freaking-lutely. But overall, I think we still need to do some work here, and hopefully in the next gen we get something pretty sweet. Now, the next one we've talked about for years, but we have to mention it, and it's the tires. for the TRD Pro that I have here. Now, listen, it's not the performance of the tire. The tire does pretty well, but overall the look, just for what the truck is and what the theme is for the truck, the tire probably should have a little bit more of a look on it. Maybe a BFG KO2, something like that. The thing is, some of the other competitors out there, like the Ram Rebel, the Trail Boss, come with a little bit more of an aggressive looking tire. And like I said, the tire actually does pretty well, but overall at the end of the day, I feel like they should work on the look of this tire a little more. So unfortunately, this tire has to go into the con list for the look of the overall exterior of the truck. Next thing on the con list is the Toyota app for this Toyota Tundra. I think it's great that they finally came out with an app. You can remote start the truck. You can see all the information on the truck. You know, the fuel level, the mileage you have on it. You could schedule service through it. That's all great, fine, and good. The problem is the app is a subscription-based service. So after a year of ownership, you have to pay for the app. So you lose all of that stuff. To me, that should be totally free. Another thing that blows people's minds with this, there's remote start on the app, like I said, but if you lose your subscription and you don't renew, you can't use your remote start anymore. So that kind of blows people's minds. Overall, maybe, I don't know. If it's not going to be free, that's one thing, but let people keep their remote start. I mean, we pay big money for these trucks, so I have to put that on the con list. I think the pro of it is how good everything works. How, like I said, you could schedule service and see everything about your truck. If somebody takes your truck, as in, you know, a relative or something, you could see where the truck is at all times. That's cool. But the con of it is making people pay for it and shutting off their remote start when their subscription ends. No bueno. Now, I got a couple cons that I'm going to mix into one here, and it has to do with the price of the truck and some of the equipment that is missing on it. So let's talk about price. This truck was $56,000, just a shade under it. And as we spoke about in the beginning of the video, a lot of places, they put massive markups on the TRD Pro. So I think first off, the TRD Pro has been around a long time. 2015 model year was the first year for it. I think it's time to put incentives on this truck. Make it eligible for some incentives out there. They treat this like a specialty truck, like it is. It's a special trim. They don't get a lot at the dealerships and everything like that. But at this point, they're still very popular, but I could see them sliding in popularity a little bit. A lot of the owners out there and enthusiasts would rather just buy an SR5 and do their own upgrades, and they'd end up saving a lot of money instead of paying those massive dealer markups and everything. So let's just make the TRD Pro, you know, eligible for some of those Toyota incentives. That's it. That's easy. So that's number one for me for the price, because it is a very expensive truck. When the TRD Pro first came out, it was built off of an SR5 platform, so you didn't get a lot of equipment in it. Now it's built off of a limited, so you get things like the sunroof, the leather, you get things like the heated seats, Jbl Sound System. So I understand the price is going to go up a lot. Now, here's some of the things that blow my mind because of the price point, and I'm speaking for the American TRD Pro. You guys in Canada do get what I'm about to talk about. Blind spot monitoring and parking sensors should be available on a truck at this price point, in my opinion. In Canada, they get that on their TRD Pro, but with what we're paying for here, and you're paying for the off-road equipment that's on the truck, I get it, but blind spot monitoring and parking sensors are available down to the SR5 at this point, so why not put it on your top tier truck like a TRD Pro, throw that on, and also throw power folding mirrors, all right? I think every other brand out there, once you hit like $50,000, some brands below that, you get the power folding mirrors. It's very convenient for a lot of people that use this truck for work. You know, especially for me, I live in an area close to New York City, okay? So sometimes the parking lots and parking garages and everything get a little tight, and you want to be able to fold those mirrors in just by hitting a button. It's on the Platinum in $1794 only for the Tundra, which again blows my mind, just the top tier trims. But I would like to see it on the Pro, and I would like to see it all the way down to the SR5. So with the price of this truck, let's tie some incentives to it. Let's make it so dealers can't mark these things up anymore. That would be a great thing too. And I would like to see blind spot monitoring, parking sensors, and power folding mirrors on this truck. All right, so overall, I'm very happy with the truck. Do I have any regrets buying this thing? I do not. It has been a fantastic experience. The surprise with the 5.7 liter and how it feels in this truck. The spray-on bed liner has been amazing. The suspension is really good. Just everything about the truck has been a good time. The small little updates they've made in the truck over the last couple of years, coming from a 2017 to a 2020, are awesome. And to be honest with you, yes, we all want the next generation Tundra, but this is amazing. Some of the things we talked about with the push button start, Entune 3.0, the bigger screen, this gauge cluster is way more modern than the other one. I just like everything they've done. It's a less is more approach to a half-ton truck, but you're getting the little things here and there that you need. And if the next gen took a little longer to come out, if there's some delay or something, I'm not mad, because I really enjoy this truck. So overall, I'm very happy. I don't have any regrets. Now, I talked about this in the beginning of the video. If I was someone that was involved in the creation of the TRD Pro or this TRD Pro, you know, or engineering it or anything like that, one of the main things I would do, it all comes down to cost. These guys don't have a lot of money to spend on this stuff, so they gotta, you know, budget where they can. But like I said, in the cons, it's gotta be the tires. I would do that right away. Maybe a little bit different of a tune on the 5.7 V8 for the TRD Pro to make it a little bit more special. But other than that, everything is great. It has the sunroof, it has the leather. Give me that BSM, the blind spot monitoring, and the parking sensors. Just because of the price point of the truck. Small little things like that. Throw some LED taillights on this thing, it would be perfect. But right now, I couldn't be much more happy than I am. Obviously, I would like to see the incentives tied in. A lot of my cons are how I would, you know, do little things here and there on this truck. The LEDs, we didn't really talk about this. The LED headlights are amazing. They're available on almost all of the Tundras 2018 and up. I believe it's the SR5 upgrade package and up, gets full LED headlights. The rigid industry fog lights on this are very good. They're about a $700 upgrade if you want to get them for your Tundra, but I strongly suggest you check out the regular LED fog lights that are available, because they, in this situation, in driving it on the road every day to and from work, are very good as well, and you could save a bundle of money. So check that out. But overall, this package has been fantastic. I'm very happy to own this truck. Army green looks amazing. Couldn't be happier with that. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this truck, you know, let me know. Obviously, I'm here to help. Love to hear what you guys think about TRD Pro. There's some of you that love it. There's some of you that feel like it's a waste of money. And there's some of you like me who've been driving Tundras a long time, and you appreciate these little packages they come out with here and there that, you know, are special for the Tundra. But I'd love to hear all opinions on the truck. It's been a good first year with it. I'll probably have the truck now for, I don't know, maybe another 6-7 months, and I will very much miss it when it's gone. So for now, I enjoy every day driving it, and I couldn't be happier. One more pro I want to add on right now, and this just popped out of nowhere. I love the size of the mirrors on the Tundras. My brother's Ford F-150 mirrors, I wasn't really a big fan of the shape of them. These things do great. They look great. I'm absolutely not a fan of the Ram mirrors. I don't like the look of them. They're not very large. These things are perfect. They do the job well. So add that to the pro list. But that's it for me today. I will put up 2 great playlists for you right here. Number 1, I'm going to put up this truck. Every video I've made of this truck since I bought it. And by the way, I bought it sight unseen, and I bought it in a matter of about, I would say, 10 hours. I saw it. It was coming into the dealership. I felt like, ooh, that would be a good thing to get. They're extremely hard to get. It was right before COVID started and everything like that. So I was able to get this truck, and I kind of just went for it. That's really it for this truck. But yeah, I'll put up the playlist to this truck. I'll also put up the 2021 Tundra playlist, just in case you guys are interested in the current Tundra that is out now, which is pretty much the exact same thing as the 2020 that we are in today. But like I said, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know what to do. Comment below. Until next time, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, at TundraDude34, TundraDude34@gmail.com. Have a great day. Be safe. Be well.